What's up, everyone? Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so there has been a lot of questions about what data should I be focusing on, specifically around social media. But I wanted to touch upon all those specific ones because I think that lends so much insight into not just my thinking, but also like how to start thinking about social media data differently and how do you actually incorporate the feedback that that data can give you. Because here's the thing about data: data showcases things that you've done in the past, right? That's fantastic. I guess on the camera it's there. Okay, so in the past, and that's fantastic because you can see what happened, how that process was, and what was the outcome of that creative, that ad spend, that copy, that thing that you had made, and how do you change that to make it relevant and frankly hit the mark better the next time around, because really that's all it is. A data isn't a great indication of what's going to happen. It's a great indication of what has happened, what happened well, what didn't, and how you adjust. So that's why it's such an important topic, especially when it comes to social media data, where frankly it can seem quite overwhelming in the beginning. And I totally understand that because you get likes, impressions, comments, shares, direct messages. There's just so many different data points, and even within those, there are 3 second watch times, 5 second watch times, 50% watch times, 75% watch times. There are click throughs, there's CTAs. There's just so much stuff in there that I would kind of want to just to scrape away all the BS and just go straight to what matters, what I look for, and how I continuously evolve with what I do for clients at Boundless, what I do with my own personal brand, and all of that. Because again, I want to give you all the tips and tools and tricks that you can start implementing right now. So hear me. You are in I should preface this conversation is it's very hard to have this data conversation when you're not posting anything. So this conversation is primarily for those who have gone through at least a 15, 30 day, posting at least, or here's the hard thing. It's really great to have posted once a month and have great metrics for that. But if you post every single day for 30 days, it's going to give you an N of 30 versus an N of 1. And the N of 30 is going to be a lot more insightful than an N of 1 because the data point of 1 and the data set of 30, you know what I'm saying? So this conversation is primarily for people who have gone through, and this relates to everything, emails, videos, everything. We're going to primarily talk about how this relates to social media, but it's not limited to just social media. Eddie, what is up, my friend? Good morning. You guys haven't checked out Eddie's content, I highly recommend giving him a little follow, and reach out to him. So anyway, there's just so much noise out there. So what I wanted to do in this conversation specifically is talk about what I focus on. So I've been posting every single day since October 2018 and multiple times a day since the mid. I started doing twice a day in mid 2019. So for about a year now, I've been posting at least twice a day. Up until this point, you're talking about like me posting 5 times a day here on LinkedIn. Um, Quora once a day, Facebook, Instagram, on and off, and then 3 times a day. The last couple days I've done 5 times a day on TikTok. So take that for what it is, right? I post quite a bit, so I totally understand this numbers game, right? The numbers game is so important. So what I focus on are not impressions; they're comments. So when I'm posting, if I get 100 likes, for instance, right, and I get 3 comments, I don't deem that one as a success, right? I don't see that as a very successful post. If I have a post and it has 10 likes and 7 comments, right, to me that's better because what I'm looking for with social media isn't the vanity metrics. I don't care really about the impressions. I don't really care about the likes. What I care about is the comments, and to a greater extent the conversations. Really, that's what I care about as a social media marketer. I'm always trying to get in a conversation with my perfect buyer. I'm trying to get into a conversation with my prospect. I'm trying to get in a conversation with the person who might not be the perfect fit for me today, but I want them to know and think of me when that time comes. The amount of people, and I don't know the stats 100% on this, but about 3% of the people that are, kind of fit your persona. So 100% of the people who in your persona, 97 of them aren't quite ready to buy right now. About 3% are. So what you want to do in your social media marketing, especially, start having a conversation with the 97, because again, we like to think about the short term, because again, we need to bring money in, we need to keep the lights on, we need we need to keep going. But you can't negate the 97% who might not be right there to buy, but they are perfect. They're going to need your product, service, or offering, right? So what you want to do is still have conversations with those people. For every sales call I jump on, I am probably on 4 or 5, future prospect calls, right? So I'm connecting with people who might refer me to someone or possibly fit the persona, but might not need. I'll give you a perfect example, right? And why conversations matter so much more than likes. There's an individual that we have been talking since January of this year. So she was going to be a Boundless client. She was going to go through this process, and she found a much cheaper alternative, which is fantastic. Again, you have to figure out what's in your budget. But now with us going into more of the product space, and I'll actually link that in here so people can know exactly what I'm talking about. Now that we're getting into the marketing product space, our prices are starting to get a little lower on some of our offerings. So the product that she wanted, right? We went through the sales cycle, and it got to the point where she's like, listen, I found a cheaper alternative. And again, I could have seen that as a loss, but because I knew that she was going to reach a certain point, I was well aware that, again, I should keep the conversations. Every couple of months, I sent her a direct message. We jumped on the phone this week, and again, I kind of told her about this new product that we're coming out with. It's a social media content machine. So my promise to anyone who gets this product is that after going through this process, they will have at least, my friends, 30 days worth of content, right? No other marketer is going to give you that for the price that this product's going to be $300, right? So $300 for custom content. I'm going to walk you through exactly the steps that we do at Boundless, and I'm going to give you everything. I'm going to give you the workbook. I'm going to give you the templates. I'm going to give you everything. That was a fun little plug there for a second. Apologize if I lost anyone, but again, you got to talk about things you're passionate about. Anyway, so basically, I told her about the product, and even though she didn't buy then, it interests her for moving forward to buy this product when it launches in the next month or so, right? So to me, that's ROI positive. And if you have those, the reason I thought about her is because I've talked to her in the past. I identified her problem, and this product fit to solve the problem that she was facing, right? So for me, that was just a perfect segue. And this relates to everything that you do. If Eddie's in here and he's in commercial real estate, if he's talking to someone right now that's like, hey, Eddie, I want a gas station. I wanted to make this much money. I wanted the traffic to be this much. I want it to be a 2010 building or higher, right? Eddie might not have that in his pocket. He might not have access to that, but if he's smart, which I know he is, he'll write that down. He'll make a mental note, and he'll kind of start looking for that. So if he hears about a gas station that's 2010 and higher, and blah 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 blah, he can think about that person and be like, hey, listen, I know I didn't have anything for you 6 months ago. Are you still interested in that thing that you told me about, that gas station? And he's like, yeah, no, I'm still looking for it. I'm still passionate. I'm ready to buy. And Eddie might be like, hey, listen, I have something for that. And the guy is going to be a lot more intrigued with the fact that Eddie is bringing him this because they've had a conversation in the past, and he knows that Eddie didn't have then, and he might trust him a lot now. For product space, right? Let's say that you are, again, I talked marketing products, but let's relate this to something else. Let's say that you are, so I should get paid. I should get paid for this. So I got this coffee. It's called Black Insomnia, right? It's literally called the world's strongest coffee, right? And I can rage on it. As you can tell, it's not open yet, so I haven't tried it out. But for them, let's say that someone's just getting in the coffee, right? And they're like, listen, I want something that's high caffeinated. It wouldn't be smart for the company to recommend this product because this is like the top. This is like the most caffeinated one. But they probably have a little lower tiers and be like, hey, listen, you might never be the perfect one for there. We're actually developing a lesser, strong coffee. Can we save your email? Can we engage with you when that's done? And the person's like, okay, yeah, it sounds great. So when that product does come out, now you have someone to go to. And this relates to so many other, Eddie, Eddie will, took me a second, but Eddie will find you that property, guys. So I'm going to add a little clapping right there. But anyway, that's the point of how this relates to data is the fact of if you have and you focus your social media on the actual conversations that you're having, this becomes astronomically better than like, because this if you have a in with a prospect, with a customer, with a future customer, it is so much more valuable. That's a much more valuable conversation than a like. A like does not translate into any dollars right away. And I know what my fellow marketers are thinking. Yes, but Nico, I like can mean brand loyalty. Yes, that's awesome. But I'm talking for the person who's really wanting to go to that next level and they want to have these conversations. Eddie is a perfect example. I have nothing to do in real estate at the moment. I have in the past, but at the moment, I don't have any real estate clients. I am not actively buying real estate. However, in the back of my mind, I am a strong believer that not majority, but a good portion of the people who have money have put in real estate, have built assets like that. When I need help, I'm going to go to Eddie. One, he's local. He's in Phoenix. Number two, we've had great conversations together. I trust his expertise. So there's just so many things that conversations. Eddie and me talked about this a while ago. We're in there for the long game. So people might not need a marketer right now. They might not need what I have to offer right now. But like I mentioned with the product, so and I feel like this is a self-promotion episode. So we started with the boundless services. Like I only did consultations. I only did marketing, social media, and that is where I live. Like that's it. Some people could not afford the high price tag. I understand that it's a high price tag, but again, you're buying, me, you're buying my services, you're buying the product that we will make. I understood that not a lot of people could afford, in my target demographic, could not afford this at the moment, especially when COVID first hit. I understood that. I did have clients, I still do have clients, and that's how I've been able to keep the lights on, keep my staff and whatnot. But with that being said, I never discounted the conversation with someone who did not meet that 1,500 threshold on what we do for Boundless, right? I kept thinking like, we're going to eventually have products that will appeal to all layers of the marketing journey, right? So for you, and let's see, so Eddie's a perfect example. Let's see who's in the likes. Sam's an entrepreneur, investor, student. So the importance of conversations. Eshan, digital marketing developer. The only reason I even remotely have the confidence I have today is because of the book back there. The only reason I did that is because I engaged with those speakers, those marketers online. I took that conversation offline, right? And I had those conversations. So what you should be caring about, yes, impressions matter because that showcases how many people are seeing your videos or content, right? That's important. Likes are good. They're no one's going to argue that if you get a million likes that there's something bad with it. But what you should be caring about is how many conversations you're sparking in the comments, in the direct messages, how many calls are you taking offline, how many people are you adding to your mailing list, how many people are you adding to your texting service, how many conversations are you having? Because when push comes to shove, people will always go, if they trust the person and like the person, with people that they've had conversations with, or they feel like they've had conversations with, right? That's why comments are so important. So that's all I got for you guys today. I am a tad bit on the hungry side. If you guys have any questions, hungry for knowledge, but also hungry for food. And plus, I don't know if I should try the coffee out today or not. Actually, what I do want to talk about in the future, I might do this tomorrow. So let me know if you guys promise to be on tomorrow, I'll do this. But this coffee brand has an ambassador program, and I actually am setting up an ambassador program for one of the brands that we work with. So it will be interesting to actually talk to you guys about like ambassador programs, why they're important, in what situations do they work, when do they not work, and how to actually go about implementing that on this very day. So have a great day, everyone. Have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, I am in the direct messages. I am in my comments. I am here to help you. A fantastic day, and we'll see you guys later. Okay, guys? Bye.